Hello, this is Christian. In this video, we're going to do the update for the CRUD operation in PHP. Now, last time we did the insert, where we were able to insert a new record into the database, and we added one course called JavaScript, you see here. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is the update. Updating means like, so here, it doesn't really work here, but the idea is to update the existing data. So that means we can go and add another column here, and we'll call it like actions or something. We'll put the edit button or update button here instead of up here, and we'll click on each of these cores and edit that information. Okay, so let's go and do that select statement first. Okay, so back in the IDE and the select statement, I'm going to add just another row here before, or another column here before I close the thing here. I'm just gonna do a echo td, and then inside this td I'm gonna do two things, right? I'm gonna add a link, and this link's gonna take you to the update page. You don't have it yet, and it's gonna take an ID. I'm gonna pass in the ID of the current course, whatever this course is. So ID equals 2, and we're going to add, let's see, add the data coming from the row ID. We're going to add that, and then we're going to close that. Need to something not lined up here. Let's use update single quote, double quote. I don't know, it seems okay to me. We'll see. So we'll call this edit. Okay, when I edit it, I'm gonna close that, and then we'll close that statement there. And while we add it, let's add another one for the delete too. We're gonna need the anyway later on anyway. So I'm gonna put here a BR for the next one. Just press Control D to duplicate that. And this one's gonna go to the delete. We'll do that in the next video. And the same idea. And then I'm gonna just remove that. It's still in the same line. Okay, and then I can leave that as is. All right, so I have two links there to link to the correct course, and when I click it, it's going to go to update. Pass ID to it through a query string, and we'll grab that from the query. So from the get, and we'll process the edit. So let's save the select statement, go back to the browser and see what it looks like. So I'm going to click that, and oh yeah, I'm going to add that thing that looks kind of ugly. So let's go add another column. That means up here in my line, let's put here actions. Okay, and let's go back and refresh the page. Okay, I need to change that to a delete. So when I click on the edit, notice it takes you to the update page, and it passes an ID of 101, right? If I click this one here, I should get ID of 555. So I can grab that information and do another query to pull the data to a table, and then we'll edit the information. Okay, so let's change this first before we go and do the edit. All right, so this would be delete. Okay, so this is done. Now for the edit, I'll just probably use the insert and make a copy of that, copy paste, and call this update. All right, so for the update, we're going to need something similar here. And let's see, we need to remember when the data comes in, do the get. So we want to get the ID from the get object. So I want to say if the get is set, the get takes the ID. If that is set, then go ahead and get the ID from that get. So I can use that ID to pull from the query. And this is a post, so you cannot have both at the same time, either one or the other only, right? So when we submit the form for the update, we're going to pass that through the post. So by that time, the get will be false. Okay, so only one or the other. And when the data comes in through the post, we update the ID. Let's just say the ID is not going to be updated, all right? We're not going to do that, but we're going to get the ID anyway. We're going to pass through that. We don't change that ID because of, unique by you might, conflict with the unique ID. And we just change the title, credits, and grades. And then we're not going to do insert though. The query will be update. So we say update the table, this table here, and instead of say values, we're going to say set, right? Set the title to equal to the title. That's the one. And then we'll also do more setting, or just the next one will be just a comma. You can do all in one line, one statement, comma. You also want to set the credits equal to the credits. And then one more here, the grade equals grade. And then I think that's what we need, but we also want to make sure that we're actually doing only from where the ID matches the ID that's passed to it. That's what we need the ID up there. Okay, it only matches that ID, otherwise it's going to update everything in the record in the table. We don't want to do that. And then go ahead and submit the query. If it's successful, then yes, and say successfully updated instead of inserted. Otherwise something went wrong, and we show some similar message, right? So that part is kind of same. So down here, when we do the update here, and if it's successful, then we display that message. We put error here, same thing. Then this time we're going to go to the update PHP file, to the post. We need the same information as before. Now this time we're going to turn this into a existing data from the query. That means we have to make a query to show the data here, right? Because we need to get it from the ID that's passed to it, whatever the ID is. So that means like right here, I'm going to do a PHP script here, and we need to do a statement. We'll say something like query, make a query, select everything from the table. So we put that from the table. Okay, from the table, and then you can add here, so where ID is equal to the ID. Okay, so this ID here is this ID here. Okay, we pass from the main page. We click the select, we click this link here, we pass the ID to the query, to a URL, and then it's an ID field, as the ID 555 for example. It goes to the update page, and then we set it here. We checked it if it existed there, then grab it and set to ID, and then we use that ID down here to make the query to match that ID, the course. And now we get all the course information. So do a result is equal to MySQLi query connection string and the query. Oh. Okay, so we get the query, and you always check it, right? So again, if result or if not result, you can say, and you can just put error message. For this example, I'm just going to say die. Error, right? And then I'll put the message. So just to show that, you probably want to make it nicer and not close the page, but for this one here, I think it's good enough. So assuming everything is honky-dory, then we can just say while we're going to get the row from that data set, and I'm going to fetch an associate. That's okay, and I'm going to get it from the result. If that's the case, then we loop through that list, and there's only one, so you don't really need it, but this is fine. So loop through that list here, and I'm going to indent this whole thing to that far, and then close my while loop here. Okay, that's just the while loop. And so I don't need that much space. And so now the ID will be, we're not gonna, we'll put that through here, but we're not gonna edit this. Okay, so we're just gonna show it, and I'll change this into a hidden field. I'll make this a hidden field. At the same time, well, the value will be set to the ID field. That would be, okay, I need to pass this as a hidden field. Why? Because this ID needs to be checked. When I post this to the same page, it's coming in the form of a post. So when it comes in here, this will be ignored, but this will be checked and submit. Yes, it's true. Then I get the ID here so that I know what to insert to the table by checking it right here. Okay. If you're using like sessions, which we'll learn later, you don't have to do this. But since we're not using sessions yet, you need to get the ID here. So back down here, this is invisible. It's not seen. So that's that's okay for that one here. But I also want to show it. So that means I need to echo this row ID so that we know it's ID. Yeah, I need to say row ID. I'm sorry, not just ID. It would say row ID here. All right. So we got that ID displayed. Then the next column will be the title, and then the value will be set to the title. So it'll be role title. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and put it right here, equal to role title, and you make sure you close that here. So I'm going to copy the value entirely, put into the credits and the grades, and just change that to credits and then grade. So now this is the actual data that will be pre-populated into these fields. Okay, and if that's good, then we can keep it. If then you can make changes and it will override that, and so on. Okay, so finally down here the submit button will be same as before, and of course you can always add another button for clear if you want to, but so something like, you can just copy this and put it right next to or below it, which is say reset, right? And that would be just clear form. Okay, and let's see if this works. Go ahead and save that. Let's go to the browser, refresh our page. So here we go. We got the edit and delete. So I'm going to edit the last one, for example, edit that. And if all goes well, you can see that the data has been pre-populated. Okay, we can edit these. This is not editable because we set that to be invisible, right? And if you do the F12, the source view, or you can see that in the Elements tab, under this column, you see the hidden field here. We need to pass that over when we load in the form. Okay, so then I want to make changes. If I change from a B to an A, if I click Submit, as you can see, it says updated successfully. And we'll see if this is true, right? We changed that course from a B to an A. So I'm going to refresh my course, my database, and you see that's been changed to an A, right? So you can do it again, go back and do the select and edit that, and we'll change that to, let's just say JavaScript 2, and the credit will be 2, and this is an A+. And then go ahead and submit, and then we can see that has been changed to JavaScript 2 to A+, and so we're good to go. So that's how you would create an update. And notice when I click update at the top here, if I go directly to that page, right, I get some error because this variable ID doesn't exist, right? And this ID here is at line 67. So you can either remove this or you need to fix that by preventing this from happening, because the ID is using line 67. Or if you go back to the code, line 67, right here, it prints out the ID here when we build the form, right? Because when you click the link, that means ID doesn't exist. Well, why? Because we did not include the get. So therefore, this part is not true, nor is this part true. So therefore, this is never set. So if that's the case, then you cannot show the form here. So you can do another message here to say something like, if it's not set, then don't show it. Well, you can do that by going up here. If it's set, then you can set another flag here, right? You can say show form is true. Make that true. And if the ID is there, then it's true by default. Else, maybe you set the flag show form to false. Okay, so you check this show form here. Then down here at the bottom, when successful, that's great. We're not going to set the form. If it's not successful, we check the error. It displays the error, which is great. What if it's no error, not successful, but also no ID, right? If that's the case, then you want to put a message here also. You can say another if show form is true, and again, you show the form below. If it's not true, right, then you put a message here, and then what the message is, again, echo the message, and then else, go ahead and show the form. So then this form here now is not shown. That means you have to go down to the div, right above the div again, and close that if block right here. So you need two of these curlies now. One, this is for the if, and this is for the if success. Okay, and then now we need to create another message to show when the form is not coming from the link. So then that means way up here on the top, you add another message in here. If it's false, then what should the message be? Message should be something like, oops, there's please, select a course to edit. Right, you put the message there, and then maybe you can even make this to a link, so that can go to the a ref, go to the select.php page, and make that clickable. You can make that big, like that. All right, so if I save this and go back to the page, let's see if this works. So if I go to the select statement here, if I edit, yeah, it should let me edit. If I go back here and just click the update directly, you see that I get a message saying, oops, you can't edit because the form is not shown. It shows twice for some reason. Oh, because it's, yeah, it should not show twice. But you can see the idea, right? So you click that and it takes you back to this page here. And the reason why it shows twice is because of the error message here. So it shows because when we have the false, right? This is the one it's supposed to show. But when we did a, yeah, it shows it error echo message. If show form is not true, then show the message. Yeah, for some reason it's showing twice, and let's see where is causing that to show that. Well, only time it shows if this is not set, and some reason it's showing twice, so that means one of these is showing, and it can't be this one, so either this or and this. Here is true. Oh yeah, we forced this to be true. I'm not sure why I did that, but this should be false. Okay, that's why it's showing twice. Yeah, that make sure that's false. And so now it should not do that again. If I go back here, update, and you see that say please select a course, select that, and now we can edit. Okay, and again, if you update, it asks you for that. All right, so that's how you can update a record using this select. I mean, using the update statements.